Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with one of the most exciting matches of the entire tournament. It's ABM going against Team
I
Eliminators.
see
On
lots
the
of
blue side, we
prey.
have
Your
Team
team
ABM,
is
and on
banning.
the red side, we have Team Eliminators. And this is one of the biggest matches because both the teams are one of the top teams in the country. In the last meeting, though, Team Eliminators came out on top, but this time ABM will look to take that revenge which they seek against Team Eliminators, and that is why we are already here. And with me today is one of your favorite casters joining me in the casting deck.
My
It's none
mission
other than your
is to
favorite
protect
Your
caster,
lives.
team is
Peachy.
banning.
Peachy, what do you think about the draft so far?
Look at that. Three of the heroes already banned. These are the heroes. They are just picking it off. It is a very strong heroes in this meta, but on the other hand, they could be the comfort bans as well. Look at Roger. Jay is very good at it, and there we go. They banned it. Maybe we will be seeing that Xbox ban coming in, or probably the Hanzo as well. So the respect bans won't be stopping from these two teams because these two teams have going face on face every single time, and every single tournament as well. So they do know how they play each other. They do know the strategies,
Magic is
the
my
teamwork.
life. Your
Both the
team
teams
is
have. So
banning.
that is why I think we will be seeing a lot of comfort bans and comfort picks coming in from both these teams. Fredo.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. The Harith has been banned targeting Radium because he's one of the top goal ladders in the country. He uses that Harith, he uses that Natan so well, even the Moskov sometimes, and that is why the Harith will be banned out here. But considering all the bans which are happening, I'm really skeptical of why they decided to ban the Harith
Who
because
said there are
even
enough
Crisis is so
shortcuts in
good on
life?
that Harith.
I
But of course,
literally invented
Natan
one.
is a better one, I guess. But the Natan is also played by Radium, so let's see who will be getting up that Natan in this game. But meanwhile, Chip being banned by the side of Team ABM, we know Apex does so well on the chip, but they will be deciding to ban it first because I guess they do not want enemy to counter that hero, and that is why they will be banning it out first because in the recent patch the chip has been reduced of that cooldown, sorry, increased the cooldown, because of which he has lost that capability to
I am not
teleport
the only
far.
one bound
That is
Your
by
why he has
these
team
been
is
banned out, I
banning.
guess.
chains.
And look at that, the ban coming in from the side of Team Eliminators, the Phobias. Man, the Phobias does a lot of damage, right? And but why do you think they have decided to ban it first? Because even Aurora can be able to counter that Phobias.
Oh, that is true. But on the other hand, I think this is a comfort ban coming in, because one of the main EXP laner from the side of Team ABM, who is Meteor, and he likes to play all these heroes. So maybe that is the ban that we are looking at, the Phobius ban coming in. And on the other hand, Phobius is also one of the strongest meta heroes right now into the game itself. So another reason that why Phobius should be banned. On the other hand, look at that, Jay might be going in and locking down with his signature
Light
hero,
me up and
and it will
watch
be
the
a
your
Xbox. There
team
we
is
go. The
picking.
Xbox jungle is upcoming in from Jay. Maybe we will be seeing a Kofra coming in, or probably a Tigreal from the side of Apex, or maybe these are the heroes that we can actually save, right, Fredo?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You can be seeing those heroes probably here, but right now Jay is locking in on that Xbox way too quickly, I guess, because that just leaves the enemy with
Hope
so
will
much
find a way,
heroes to pick up right
even
now
when all
because
is
they will
forlorn.
be looking to counter down that Xbox very
Your
easily.
team
My
is picking.
friend?
Because the Xborg, his Firaga armor, if it is blasted out, then he becomes pretty useless. So that is why I guess they have to be really careful here, to back up those Xborg pick with some more, better picks, which will be able to counter the heroes, which ET might be looking to pick here. And the Grok pick, the Grok, his mana bar has been removed, and he does have that, passive coming in from his first skill to immune any CC skills coming onto him. And that is why the Grok is such a nice pick in this game, I guess. And they might be even looking to invade because they have taken the Vexana as well. So do you think
True love
Eliminators will be looking to
is like
make an
shot. Your
invade in the enemy
team is
jungle here?
Imprisonment.
Oh, Fredo, look at that. I'm looking at a Vexana pick coming in from Bit. It is his signature hero as well. He has been playing the mid laner for the side of Team ET, and he plays it so well that I have seen him taking away that MVP from his own jungler. So Team ABM they really have to see how they will be shutting down bid into the team fights. On the other hand, looks like Ryu will be the EXP laner for the team ABM today, and he decides to go in for a Terizla and a Carmilla pick, pretty strong coming in. Carmilla with the curse of blood, we all know how the damage just passes on to each
I
other
will
if
choose
it
my own
connects,
path.
if it links down. On the other hand, Suzumi going in with an R-Lot. Okay, that is actually pretty strong. Don't you think, Fredo?
Yes, the Arlot, I mean,
I
it
didn't
does
cure the pain.
put up a
Your
good
team
fight
is
against the
banded.
Terizla in the EXP lane, but picking up that
Still
Arlot
waters
does
run
mean
deep.
that
Your team
you are
is
going to let
banded.
enemy have no that Minsitar is still open. So the Minsitar in the gold lane might be able to do something against that Arlot. But on the other hand, they do not have Asuya as well. Sorry, they do not have Asuna in the side of Team ABM, so they will be missing their main mage player. But I guess Abhi is here to replace that, and that is why it will be very interesting because they are having two new members in the lineup, the Ryu as well as Abhi here, and J Radium and Apex have been playing together from quite a long time already. And with that, I guess the second bans which have been happening are the Valentina and the Ling. The Ling, as we all know, Sarah Moon, he does like those assassin picks. That is why the Ling has been banned out in this match.
Come
But they
and
are
join
very
me.
tanky enough to
Your
face the
team
Ling. But
is
I don't know
banded.
why they decided to ban the Ling here.
Fredo, I have to say the Ling has a possibility and he has the
Sanjo.
Your
capability as
team
well.
is
How he
picking.
can actually go to the back line. He can go cash
My
out
kiss
towards the
grants you
mage or maybe the
immortality
marksman.
or death.
That is a problem for them. So that is why they are banned. And this is a direct, a small counter for that Serrar Moon, as you mentioned. Yes, Serrar Moons love to play those
Awaken,
assassins, like the
Dreadworm!
Ling, the
The
Hayabusa,
tyrant
and
of
he's so
wrath!
well with
And
that.
burn this
So
wretched
it is
world!
a small counter that how you guys are banning it out, so that way they won't be playing it out and they won't be creating a dominant effect into the battlefield. With that, looks like Crisis will be going in with a Alice onto the goal lane. Like to be like Minsitar onto the goal lane. Alice is another contender that I'm actually seeing in this meta as well. That Alice is being played into the
Your
goal
team
lane.
is picking.
She is very strong, but her only counters that I can say her only weakness is just the ranged hero. If a ranged hero can be picked, because the blood or it has a small radius. I won't say it is a small or maybe some, a small to a medium. I can say Fredo. So it can actually reach up those it can do so much damage with that. And since there was a small buff to her. It was very, very long ago, a lot of patches ago, how her stacks were removed. So she only benefits, coming in from
I
the
am
only stacks
more
of the Clock
than
of
a
Destiny.
weapon.
So that is where how the Alice is pretty strong. Look at that, the draft is already getting completed. Looks like an Aurora will be picked, trying from the side of Team ABM. And along with an Aurora, looks like Moscow. As you mentioned into the earlier, few minutes ago, yes, Moscow is being come into a play, Fredo.
Yeah, and with that, the drafts have been completed, and look at that, the Julian has been picked up by Sarah Moon here. So, yep, one of the best played heroes by him as well. The Julian does work wonders, especially because of the immunity which comes with his enhanced second skill, and that is why he does, dash in and dash out of those team fights pretty easily. And that will be a difficult thing because the enemy has to lock down that Julian before he can escape.
Welcome to
He has a lot of
Mobile
combos that he can
Legends!
execute, and they have to be careful about that. And with that, we're already into the land
5
of Dawn.
seconds till
This
the
is the
enemy
first
reaches
match
the
of the day
battlefield.
between Team
Smash
ABM
them!
and Team Illuminators. And I hope you all know these are the
Explode!
best teams in the country. You don't want other people to miss out on this game, and that is why I want you people who are watching share the stream and also like the stream as soon as you can because we want more people to be watching this stream right now. And yeah, we're already back into the game. We see, look at the rotation coming in from both the teams. I think it's pretty standard, but look at the clock there.
Oh, the Grok is like providing a vision. He is trying to get a He's buff, Jay is buff, but I think he will be backing off right now. But with the first skill, Carmilla was successful in fending off the Grok. On the other hand, looks like the buffs are already taken by both the members. They are just going for an opposite kind of rotation as much as I'm seeing. So we all know how Julian has that power spike into the early game, and he might be able to get a first blood, Fredo.
Yeah, he will be looking to take the first blood because of the damage he has in that early game. But meanwhile, the Radium is playing quite safe in this match because he knows his teammates depend on him in this game a lot because of that Alice pick, because of that Grok, even the Arlet there. He has to melt down those enemy front lines so that, the Julian will not have a good time in going in and out. That is why, oh, look at that, the hope coming in from Abhi.
Oh,
And
yes.
the first blood, look at that. The first blood might have happened there, but no, there's not enough damage. Jay pops off his Firaga armor with that last insanity and he'll be retreating back. But the first turtle is up very soon. And look at that, the amount of damage that Julian is dealing onto that Moskov. But the Moskov able to survive somehow and he will be backing off immediately.
Fredo, if Julian had one of his item up, since this is just the early game, that is just not possible. But if he had, I think he might have gotten 2 kills right there. Because, Julian is an all-rounder. He has the early game, he has the mid game, he has the late game as well. Once he snowballs the early game, it is pretty easy for him. On the other hand, the turtle has spawned. Take it away, Fredo.
Yeah, look at that. The amount of damage they're dealing onto Apex. Apex just caught out there in a very, very wrong position there. Trying to provide vision for the team, but the Grok does much better than that. The map control that he gives is just way too much. And look at that. Ryu is getting caught out in the middle of the fight there. Suzumi taken down quite low. There has been a charge onto the enemy backline by that. But look at that last insanity being popped. Bid is taken down so sorry. Yeah, the bid has been taken out so low, but look at that. The amount of damage is not enough. And Julian picking up the scraps there onto that Terizla.
Uh,
And still doing damage, still doing damage. And look at that, the amount of damage he's dealing onto that Moskov.
Oh, yes, that is true. Looks like the sphere of destruction did connect onto them. He was able to pick up 1 kill. That is pretty strong for him right now because, Moscow has the early game. He does not have the early game. He does not have the mid game to himself as well. So it is where he is going to shine, and he has to slow farm himself. He has to get a lot of farm, maybe from the mid lane, from the top lane. He has to switch it up, try to take the gold shit, but Alice is just not allowing him right now to go. And his only best bet is getting those farm is using the spear of destruction and getting a kill. But it is a problem where he will be getting caught out into that very bad place. But we all know how Radium is one of the best goal laners in the India, and that is not the play he will be giving us. On the other hand, Apex is looking for some action. He has been there and into the map. He is just trying to deal out so much damage. He's just zoning out the Vexana, even the Grok as well.
Yep, and look at that, the Julian easily able to, take out the Xbox shield with his skills, and with that he has taken down the Xbox already and already onto the red buff as well. This Julian pick is working out very well because he can, remove the Xbox Firaga armor without causing any problem for himself because he can escape with his second skill as well.
Yes, that is true, Fredo. And he has that power spike to actually do it. And we just saw how he actually did it. So that is one of his strongest suit to himself. On the other hand, look at that, a mega kill going down into the hands of Sarah Moon. 4 kills already. Looking, 4 minutes, 4 kills, and all kills to himself. That is strong.
Yep. I mean, it's Sarah Moon, so you have to be careful there. You do not want to get caught out in his, wrong position because he will punish you for that. And with that, I guess there will be a possible gang coming in onto the goal line because Radium has been on that 1-0 kill, and I mean, he's the only one who has not died from his team. So they will be looking to target him because they know in the late game he will be the one causing problems for them. And look at that, the Grok coming in so well onto that Radium there, but he is pushed out though with that spear. But the enemy is able to take their turret goal down as well as take some of their turrets HP. So the first tier 1 tower is somewhat low right now. So meanwhile,
Oh, yeah.
the bottom lane, Arlot has been taken down.
Yes, that is true. Both the teams, they are just dishing out damage to each other. They are just making sure. But into the last team fight at the top lane, I was noticing how Art just went in. He was right into the face. He should have popped the wild charge. On the other hand, look at that. The team fight has just started. Take it away, Fredo.
Yep. The amount of damage coming in from that Aurora is just way too much. Crisis won't be able to survive. But somehow they're able to defend the mid lane tower though. And with that, they'll be backing off soon anyway. And Radium trying to create that push in the top lane side. The bot lane side is completely empty. Apex providing the vision enough for Radium to get away. But we get too late. I guess not. He does have that Purify for himself and he will be able to escape.
That is true, Fredo. But on the other hand, did you notice how Ryu is in the top lane? He is supporting his teammates coming here because his lane has been just eaten up by that Arlot by Julian as well. So it is his best bet to go towards the other lane. But wait a minute, Julian is there with his damage. He just popped the Pride of Ice, but looks like Bid will be the finisher. And looks like Aurora will be going down.
Yeah, look at that. The Julian is doing so much in this game, even though he got the nerf. And look at that three-man penalty zone coming in, but the Julian able to dash it out so easily, as well as the Vixana there, able to use that flicker to escape out of that position. Oh, look at that. The last insanity has been popped. Bit does not have the flicker, and that's why he will be going down here. Two went down from the side of Team Eliminators. The Radium has also joined for the team fight. They are very, very low. They need to retreat right now. But the Alice is still there trying to out-sustain. And look at that. The sustain coming in from the Alice. Crisis is doing so much damage right now. Art is very, very low. And look at that. The Arlet goes down. Crisis is very low right now. He doesn't have enough mana to sustain. But will he try to defend this lane? Let's see.
Oh, looks like that is just not possible. ABM retaliates and they are getting those kills. Wait a minute, look at that. Looks like if Terizla is getting a kill and he went in with the penalty zone.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice move from the Tesla. They knew that, this mid lane tower is a very important resource, so they will be looking to defend it as hard as they can. And that is why the Alice committed with that, using her ultimates and everything. And that is why he was able to get that early skill there, because she was way out of position and out of those skills to retreat at that moment.
Okay. Both the teams, I'm looking at them. It looks like a neck-to-neck competition right now. Once there is a fight lane into the mid lane, but the next minute I'm seeing another fight into the mid lane, and this is just, towards Team ET and towards Team ABM as well. So this is how the team fights, this is how the determination that we are looking at from both the teams. On the other hand, Art is still there into the bushes. He is trying to spot the members from the side of Team AVM. Even Apex is there doing the same. Wait a minute, look at that.
Yeah, and the amount of damage coming in from the Julian though, he will be able to escape from that. The penalty zone has been used, and Alice goes in with that kill on the Terizla. But right now, they will be looking to take that mid lane tower down. Jay is there trying to do some damage in the back line. He still does a lot of damage. Crisis able to, escape though with her teleport. And look at that. Enemy team is taken down solo, and they're able to successfully defend that mid lane tower.
Oh, pretty strong coming in because the lane, the mid lane, the first turret, it is actually very important turret in my opinion, because if the turret is taken down, it gives a pathway, it gives the junglers and even the teammates from your opposite team to come in and invade as well. So that is not what I want to see. On the other hand, Alice is just free farming the lanes. She might be able to take down this turret, and yes, she was successful in it. On the other hand, the lanes looks like the lanes have been swapped. The exchange of blows coming in from both the teams, it looks like so equal to me right now, Fredo.
Yeah, and look at that. Jay is dealing so much damage right now, and it's becoming difficult for them to take down his Firaga armor, because now he has that spell vamp coming in from that War Egg that he has. And on top of that, right now you can see that he already has the brute force as well as the radiant armor, so it won't be easy for the enemy side to take down his Firaga armor. And he's building onto that Ice Queen, so once he gets that Ice Queen, enemy will just not be able to escape from. Oh, look at that. The Firaga armor has been popped off with their last insanity. That means ABMJ is right now vulnerable. They will be looking to take him down, but his teammates are there to cover for him, and he will be recalling immediately so that he can get that Firag armor back as soon as possible and join the fight, because right now they are looking to take down the Lord. Art has been taken down, and look at that, the amount of damage coming in from Crisis on that Alice. The Pride of Ice has been used, and look at that, the damn Lord has been taken down already. Bid goes down as well. The final slash though not connecting so much, but with that, Suzumi and Sararmun are the only one left. Jay is looking to take down Sararmun, and he will be able to do so. The last insanity connecting so well because his Sararmun's skill were on cooldown. That is why the side of team ABM able to come out on top in that team fight, but the enemy got the Lord.
That is true. 4 men down from the side of Team Eliminators. That was pretty strong. On the other side, only 2 men were taken down. But I was not liking how Radium was the one who was unfortunately in between those, getting sandwiched between those heroes from the side of Team Eliminators. Looks like this will be just the level 1 Lord. It won't be dealing so much damage, but the turrets might be taken down. Looks like another turret has been gone down. That would be the top lane turret and the mid lane as well. Team Eliminators with that Lord, with that mega minions, they are looking for those turrets. They are looking for those neutral objectives. That is pretty strong. And like few minutes ago, I did see how Xbox picked up a radiant armor, and that is very very beneficial for him. And I'm loving how he is able and how he is able to sustain those damage coming in from Julian as well, right? Because of the magic defense he has, Julian cannot actually pop that Firaga armor off him.
Yeah, it's becoming difficult for them to pick that Firaga armor off because they have the Alice, they have the Vixana, and they have the Julian as the main damage dealers, and the only physical damage dealer will be that Grog and the Alert. So that is why the Radiant armor is one of the best items here for Jay, because of which he's able to survive so well in these team fights right now. And with that, I guess Jay is becoming stacked up because he already has that Ice Queen as well. Now he will be looking to build that Immortality as the last item, I guess, to complete his build, and he's just so fed at the moment. They are not able to take down his Firaga armor. That just means that the only option they can kill will be taking his Firaga armor down. But look at that, Sarah Moon going down in the top lane. Not a good news though, because the enemy team is exposed now. Look at Bid. Bid is taken down solo, and Radium is there to clean up the scraps. He's there in the backline. Bloodroad being used as well as the Pride of Ice. Look at that, the amount of damage dealt by Crisis there. Crisis, will he be able to sustain? I do not think so. Jay takes him down. Oh, look at that, final slash connecting so well with the 3 members almost, but he will not be able to, do enough damage though, and that is why he has to back up there. Suzumi did a very nice play there though, but it's not enough because the enemy team, his teammates are not there to deal the damage.
Yes, that is true, Fredo. I loved how the final slash connected, but he was gotten so low that he couldn't complete his attacks. On the other hand, it looks like he is all healed up. They are going in into the mid lane, but this was just enough for Team ADM right now. They managed to take up a lot of turrets. These are the neutral objectives, which will be helping every single one, who does play the game. As we all know, that turrets does play a very crucial role in it. On the other hand, Team Eliminators, they are pushed behind inhibitors. Look at that Ard being picked off. He was in a very awkward position. On the other hand, it looks like Xbox is going in with a last insanity. He does manage to pick up a kill, but looks like the team fight is still going on. The projectile being used, and it does connect to 3 people. It is almost a wipeout. Julian is trying to battle it out. Maybe look at the freeze connecting onto him, and Apex picking up that kill.
Yep. They did fall down after Jay got his farm because they are not able to take off that Firaga armor. And with that, the final push is already there. They will be able to take this victory very easily. And yup, ABM taking the victory home without their main lineup. Wow, what a match.
Yes, that is true, Fredo. Both teams did put out a spectacular show for us, but looks like we only have one winner in this Mobile Legends 5v5. And taking away the match one, it will be Team ABM. And the viewers, since this is best of three, they will be battling it out into the match two very, very soon. So don't go anywhere. Meanwhile, do share, do like the stream, and do subscribe as well.
Light me up and watch
Your
the
team
world
is
burn!
banned.
The hunt begins.
Your team
Welcome
is
back,
banned.
viewers, and you guys are tuned in at Royal Rumble Showdown, powered by Thunder Esports. And with that, we are bringing you to the second match of Team ABM versus Team Eliminators. They will be battling it out for the position into the semi-finals. Because this is the quarterfinals, and this will be a best of three matches since the first match has been done and ABM has won it. To give you guys a recap, ABM with the second lot, they managed to get a wipeout onto the side of Team Eliminators, and with that, they went ahead,
Magic of
straight
my
ahead
life.
into the
Your team
crystal,
is
the
banned.
fountain, and with that, we are resuming back with the second match, and today. This is Peachy watching this match. She will be casting as well, and it will be none other than Fredo. Hello, Fredo.
I am not
Hello,
the only
P2.
one
Your
bound by
team
these
is
Look at that, the
banned.
chains.
bans are already taking place. The Xborg has been banned this time. They know that, Jay is just so good at the Xborg. That's why they have banned out the Xborg as well as the Harith on Radium is so well. It's a very hard hero to deal with when he's in the hands of Radium, because of which they will be picking out that Harith as well this time. And the next band, the bands coming in from the other side will be the Phobias and the Ruby, because they know how good Suzumi is, in those team fights, able to zone out, so many members by himself. And that is why the Phobias, though,
Hope
one
will
of the
find a
strongest heroes
way,
Your
right now,
team
even
so
is
when
much
all is
banned.
sustain and so much
forlorn.
damage as well. And that is why they will be looking to ban out that Phobias. But that means the next man coming in from the side of Team Eliminators will be the Vexana.
I'm surprised looking at a Vixana ban Fredo, but to be honest, I was not expecting that. I was hoping maybe a Carmela or maybe the Chip or maybe a Edict will be getting banned. And also, Team Eliminators, they do have the first pick, but since they won't be picking up a Vexana and trading out the other heroes like the Ling, the Hayabusa, I think they are going in for a Ling pick right here. Fredo, don't you think so?
Yeah, it's very probable that they might be picking up a
My
link
mission
here, but
is to protect
the Aurora
Your
is
lives.
team
also
is
open, and
picking.
Aurora is a very hard hero to kill, especially because she has that passive of her which allows her to stay alive and regenerate. So that is why I guess the Aurora as the first pick will be a better choice here, because it just opens up
I
so
see
many
lots of
possibilities to
prey.
pick up
Your
in the
team
next
is
phase. But look at
picking.
that, Serar Moon already locking onto that Roger, but in my opinion, that's a little early to do that, because the Roger, I don't think he provides so much utility right now like he used to do before, because the cooldowns have been increased, the defense has been reduced in that Lycan form. So it will be a little bit, a little bit of a skeptical thing to do right now, because I do not think the Roger is that good to be picked up as the first pick right now.
10 years
Okay,
of
that is true,
imprisonment.
Fredo. But on the other hand, the Ling is open, the Hayabusa is open. Look at that. They are going in with a chip. Yes, I want to see that chip coming into the play. Even though the nerf is set for him, as how his cooldowns were increased, I think he can still make
Who
those
said there
plays.
are no
He
shortcuts in
has the
life?
ability
I
to make
literally
a
invented
1v5
one.
situation within seconds. So there you go. But on the other hand, the assassins are open. Even the EXP are open. Looks like Jay will be going in with a Terazwa. Maybe they will be swapping out into the later phases. That is highly possible since we all
It's
know
time
how
for the
Jay
variety
is the jungler
show.
for the
For
team
some
ABM.
fun.
On the other hand, I am not sure what they are going to pick for a jungler. Maybe a Hanzo, maybe a carry as well. A carry won't be playing here because it is actually weak against a Roger. But what do you think would be a possible counter for maybe creating that jungle gap against Sarah Moon?
Well, it's a very hard question because I do know, the hero pool that Jay has. So it's very hard to think what he might be picking up here. But we saw that Jay has already picked up the Terizla. So that just leaves Ryu to pick up the jungle role, I guess. And an Alpha will be a very good choice here, though, because we did see Ryu playing that Alpha so well in the last few games that we watch of ABM, and that is why I guess the Alpha will be a good pick here if they decide to pick it up. But on the other hand, the side of team eliminators have picked up that Lilia there because the Lilia is so good, at dishing out damage, poking the enemy's front line and building up the damage so quick, melting them down. You won't even realize it. You have faced 2 or 3 bombs and you're down 50% of your HP. So yeah, the Lilia pick is a very good pick here in my opinion. But to counter that, I don't know why, but the side of team ABM has decided to pick up the Valentina, but why do you think the Valentina here though? I mean, I do not see any, very, very special ultimates on the side of Team Eliminators.
Fredo, maybe Black Shoes would be actually one of the good ultimates by the Lilia to copy because it would give you an extra lifeline. You can actually go travel back in time, get your health up, maybe get off it from the sticky situation. That is how you can. But on the other hand, even a Grox wild charge could be beneficial, but she has to time it. Valentina actually has to time it where and when she is using, and she has to make sure that it is connecting to a wall
It is
so
in
that
despair that I see the
Team ABM
forest
can actually
close.
come up with a strategy to take them down. In the last game, we did see those kind of similar plays coming in because Art was, I have to say that he did so well with the zoning part, but they fell short into the team fight. With that, we might be seeing a white opposite coming in as well. So let's just sit tight and see. Or, also bring in your friends as well, guys, so we know you guys are enjoying as well.
Yep, and look at that. The Moskov has been banned out, the Natan as well as the Alice, because in this game the goal laner has not been picked up yet, and Radium and Crisis, both of them so good on these heroes which are banned out right now. And the last ban, which I think will be Harriet has also been banned already.
Strongest
And look
ninja
at
has
that,
arrived.
the Hanzo ban targeted onto Jay here, and because of which the Hanzo has been banned, and that just means that the alpha is open for Jay, or even the Benedetta here can be a good option because the enemy doesn't have any counters to really lock down that Benedetta right now because the Grok, the Lilia do not provide much CC as well as the Roger. I mean, they're all damage heroes except the ultimate of Grok. I do not think there's any CC on the enemy side. So if you pick up a Benedetta here, I mean the Benedetta will not face any problem.
A very good hero suggestion, Fredo. But she is an assassin and she is not made for that jungle role. So she might be a little slow in that, in terms of Roger. But it could be a viable pick. I have to agree with you, Fredo, on there. But look at that Radium going in with a Lunox gold laner. This time, last game we did see the Lunox getting banned. And this time, into the second phase, we are seeing four of the respect bans coming in out of which two were directly to Crisis, and one was for J, and one was for Radium as well. And since Radium's had it, his Moscow has been banned, he decides to go in with a Lunox. Pretty good pick coming here. She can actually. Survive, she can actually escape those like and pounds coming in, or probably the wild shots coming at her. She can use her light from brilliance to negate those damage coming in for her.
Yeah.
Sand rises
But
when I give the word.
picking out so many
It's our
heroes
showtime.
targeting, in this ban section is just like the side of team eliminators is target banning the enemy because they are targeting the heroes of
Still waters run deep.
Radium and Jay here. But Ryu will be the one going in that jungle role, so he'll be picking up that lane this time. And on the side of Team ABM, they have just done pretty, decent bans, except the fact that the Natan has been targeted onto Crisis. And with that, the draft is complete. It's Suzumi picking up the Khalid and Crisis on that Claude, and Ryu finally picking up that Ling here. So yeah, the draft has been complete, and in my opinion, it does feel like the side of Team Eliminators have a good composition. Both the teams have a very good composition, and I really don't know which team will come out on top, because it will all come down to the perfect execution of combos here from both the teams. And with that, we're already getting in the land of dawn. And tell me your opinion, PG. Which draft do you like more here?
I'm leaning towards Team ABM right now because they do have the chip, which is a strong suit for them. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are into the land of dawn. Look at that Grok coming up with his walls. He is just trying to stop those minions so that they can create a freeze effect into their lanes. In the mid lane, into the bot lane, and even the top lane as well. On the other hand, Sarah Moon, he is going in with a red buff, so I think he will be going straight towards the marksman lane. On the other hand, even Ling, as we all know how Ling is purely dependent on his blue buff, and he really, really needs it. So maybe we will be seeing some invade coming in as from team eliminators as well.
Yeah, Team Eliminators do have the potential to invade because of the Grok, and he will be trying to do that right now. But Radium is just poking down. Price is there because of the early game advantage that he has. That's why the Claude has to be really careful here and not lose out in the 1v1 battle, because the Ling is approaching him very fast.
On the other hand, in the bot lane, looks like the EXP lane is being won by the Khalid. He has the second skill. He has that first skill. He's dealing so much damage. Look at him. He's regenerating. He doesn't even have to go to the base. That is one of another plus point for Khalid. On the other hand, both the teams, they are looking for a pick-off. Looks like maybe Art would be the one. Yulling going in with the Tempest of Blade, and the first blood looks like will be going in the hands of Apex.
Yeah, a very nice show of display of skill there by Ling, able to take out all those blades, as well as stay alive and go back, dealing all that damage, taking down an enemy hero. Yep. And with that, look at that right now. The side of Team Eliminators do have a little advantage in the EXP lane, because the Teresa is not having the best time.
Now that is true. Tesla has been pushed back so far that he is not coming out to 1v1 the Khalid, because he also knows that how Khalid will be the one winning. On the other hand, the turtle is up. This will be a battle of retribution between Sarah Moon and Ryu. Ling does have his Tempest of Blade up, but on the other hand, even Roger can use the Lycan Punch to immune that and take down the turtle as well. On the other hand, there is some skirmish going on. Looks like Ryu will be picking off the Khalid. He is trying to go in for more his blades. He just picked up his blade. Sarah Moon will be unfortunate to go down as well. And with that, Art will be picked off as well. A pretty strong team fight coming in from Team AVM right now, Fredo.
Yep, actually it was a counter engage coming in, because there was this Suzumi trying to zone out the enemy, but not able to do so because the enemy was careful about that, and because of which Team Elim. And I think Sarar Moon should have just continued taking the turtle there, because Suzumi was just going to die there anyway, because he was handling 3 members himself. So instead of taking the turtle, they decided to go in for the engage, and that just means that ABM got the perfect opportunity to revenge that, counter engage that, because of which they were caught off guard and they were all died there.
That is true, Fredo. On the other hand, both the teams right now, Team Eliminators, they have to play it slow. They are lacking, the gold, the amount of damage as well. Look at that. The shortcut has been played along with that. Grok comes in with the wild stars, but he will be the one going down. Maybe he is very low. On the other hand, looks like Bid will be the one taken down into the hands of Ling. He is still there into the team fight. There is some exchange of blows going down into the river area. Looks like Apex will be using up his flicker to escape that.
Yeah, right now the thing is, Team Eliminators, they are losing out a lot, because this composition lacks the amount of CC they need to lock down that Ling.
the Ling is the last pick, because of which he was he was able to pick a free Ling, because they do not have any counters right now for the Ling. The Ling can do whatever he wants and he can come out by himself because there is not enough CC on the enemy side, and because of that I guess the Ling will come out on top in this jungle role fight between Sailor Moon and Ryu.
Oh yes, that is true. On the other hand, look at that Link trying to go in. Looks like Khalid will be using his Sandstorm to escape it out, and he does that. On the other hand, Ryu might have gotten a pick off right there, but he has to back off right now.
Yeah, he has to back off. He has to farm up his jungle. His red buff is already up and the turtle is up as well. So it will be a
Uh-huh.
very hard contest coming in from both sides for this turtle. They really need this.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting battle of retribution because in the last team fight looks like ABM will be the one taking down the turtle, but this time who will it be? On the other hand, the shortcut have been used. Looks like these white stars will be connecting on to the one person's, but it is a killing spree into the hands of Ryu. On the other hand, the blazing duet will be interrupted by that penalty zone and Valentina getting a pick off. Looks like Abhi will be getting a pick off. On the other hand, Roger is low. Roger tries to escape it out, but Link being Link picks that off.
Yep, the lane does come out on top on that Roger this time, and look at that. They are going to push that bot lane tower by themselves. Meanwhile, there is Radium trying to, reach that top lane as soon as he can to defend that turret. But Crisis already has a lot of gold. He already has that Demon Hunter sword, so he will be dealing a lot more damage now during the team fights, especially with that Blazing Duet full stacks.
Yes, I agree with you, Fredo. It is deadly how I'm looking at a Lord who is getting farmed up. Zero death, zero assist, zero kills as well. But slowly by slowly, since he's the one shining from the mid game to the late game, he might be able to pull this off. They just, team eliminators, they do have to get him farmed up. On the other hand, the turtle fight is still on. Look at that. Look like Ryu will be the one going in, taking down the turtle. Another penalty zone connecting onto them. But two members down onto the side of team eliminators. It is looking bleak for them, but the sun might shine onto their side any time. On the other hand, Team AVM are actively trying to take down the turrets. These are the neutral objectives of the game, and which is actually important. The mid lane gone, the top lane gone. This will be the level 3 structure getting picked off, Fredo.
Yep. I mean, those turrets are very important right now because team eliminators, they do need those turrets. And look at that, Sarar Moon. I mean, the mobility coming in from the side of team ABM is just so hard to escape at the moment, because of which he will be picked out immediately in that bot lane area.
Oh, yes, that is true. Team ABM, they do have the goal, they do have the kills advantage. And then look at that bit going in with the black shoes, but he will be caught in a very awkward position. He did not get a chance to survive. On the other hand, Art is trying to go there, trying to be there, but no, it is a killing spree into the hands of Terizla. On the other hand, Terizla as well, he has been there in every single team fight. I have not seen him going towards his own lane. Jay, he is showing up such an spectacular team fights coming in.
Okay, look at that. Oh my god, the portal has been used.
Wait a minute, the Khalid is low. Looks like it will be another kill into the hands of Terizla. Oh, wait a minute, look at that. Oh, Terizla going in with the penalty zone. He managed to get up 3 people. Looks like Crisis will be picked up here, and 3 members down already from the side of team eliminators. The Grok survives, the bid also survives. Looks like the White Stars will be interrupting Ling, and it will be making him low. He just survived. He's so lucky right now, Ryu.
He's so lucky he was able to survive, but he got solo. I almost think he will be dying there, but okay. Somehow able to escape.
Same.
Yeah. But right now, the Lord is already up, and this first Lord will, create that pressure on the lane if he is able to take it out. And look at that Apex. Will he open the portal right now? He doesn't have that ultimate. Look at that. I
Oh
guess
yes,
they will. Oh. Yeah, it
they
did
are
seem like
just
he opened the portal, but he did not. But he did not have the portal there.
that nerf is actually showing up because I even thought that the portal would be up. On the other hand, I think ABM, they are eyeing for the early Lord. They want to finish it up, maybe like the last game. On the other hand, the Lord will be an uncontested Lord going into the hands of Ryu, and this is actually crucial. They might be able to get pick off Sarah. Wait a minute, look at that chip going in with the shortcut into the bot lane. Sarah Moon, he is low. On the other hand, Khalid has been taken off. This is what I was talking about, Fredo. How Chip can actually bring out the 1v5 moment, but this was a 2v5 moment coming in from the side of Team ABM. They already proceeded towards the mid lane. Looks like Bid is trying to be there in a very safe position. He will be spotted. He tries to go back, but no, a legendary into the hands of Ling. Ling, maybe he will be getting another kill, and there we go. It will be the Lunox getting this kill. The light forms has been pushed up, but a penalty zone being missed coming in from Jay.
Might be the final push for the side of Team ABM. The lanes are not synced though, so it might be a little bit harder to end with this Lord, but they will try to take that mid lane tower there.
Oh yes, that is true. But the Lord is still at 100% of its HP. Look at that. Crisis going in with the Tempest of Blade. The Blazing Duet looks like it will be the Link pickoff coming in. The gold from the Link, the bounty was transferred to him. On the other hand, he was also picked up by the Radiant. The concussive blast doing so much damage. Look at Apex already. He has 3 kills and 0 deaths, Fredo.
I mean, Apex is just so useful in this game, opening up those portals at the right time, even teleporting at the right time in that bottom lane to save that Terisla there. So yeah, he's making pretty good use of this chip's abilities in this game. And with that, they're able to take down the mid lane inhibitor as well. So yeah, that's creating a lot of pressure now on the, Eliminators. And Eliminators would not want to lose this out because they're on a winning streak everywhere. They have been dominating every tournament they have played. So yeah, they will be looking to dominate Royal Rumble as well. But I guess in this game, I really feel like they are losing out a lot, and I do not want them to be out of this game.
21 kills already from the side of Team ABM and 4 kills already from the side of Team ET. It is not looking good for Team ET right now, but they might be able to make a comeback because they have the Claude. The Claude, he has been dealing so much damage. Slowly by slowly, Fredo, we are coming towards the late game, and that is where Claude will be shining, and he should shine. And into the last team fight, we did see how he managed to pick up the jungler from the side of Team ABM. So that is so strong.
Yep, and the second Lord, I mean, the side of Team Eliminators really need to contest this one because otherwise it will be very hard for them to defend because look at that, bid has been kicked off already before before the Lord is up. So the thing which I was saying, contesting the Lord, I don't think they are going to do that. Look at the fight going on right now.
Yes, that is true. Looks like Ryu will be stopping up the Lord, and he is going in towards Team Eliminators. 3 members already down. Bet was the first member, but looks like Grok as well as has been picked off as well. This is not looking good for Team ET right now. Team ADM, they saw an opening. They are playing it. On the other hand, the minions are coming in. Bid did manage to come up. He is still there. He might be able to clear those minions as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, but wait a minute. The team fight is still going on. Looks like Jay will be going in with the penalty zone. Another man down. Looks like Khalid will be the pick of the Blazing Duet is in this battlefield. Jay is very low right now. Look at that. The pick off is already coming in from Claude, who is all farmed up. They managed to get all the minions out of their way, but wait a minute. A shutdown. A double kill into the hands of Claude. Apex have been picked out. Even Valentina has been picked off right there.
Yeah, I mean, very good gameplay coming in right now, and Eliminators are the one who will be taking down that second Lord. I mean, I just thought that it will be an uncontested Lord for the side of Team ABM, but they pulled off such a nice comeback in their team fight, and now they are the ones taking the Lord.
Oh, yes, there we go. Looks like Ryu is all setting his eyes on the Claude and he will be taking it down. On the other hand, the shutdown is already there from the Claude, Crisis, who has been not, who was in a little bad position. And Claude, sorry, not the Claude, but the Ling was there to take him down. On the other hand, the Lord is still there unharmed. It was almost a Lord into the hands of Team Eliminators.
Yep, we really want to see them do that, but look at that, the Lord's HP taken down so quickly by that Link. And easy Lord this time for the side of sorry, ABM. But ABM, look at that. They might be able to target the bid down. The bid on his Lilia somehow able to escape with the movement speed though. But Art is making his way through, but he will not be able to survive. My goodness, the damage coming in from side of Team ABM is insane.
I'm seeing at the link how he went in towards bid and he almost two shot the Lilia. If it wasn't for the black shoes, I'm pretty sure he was picked up. And this is what a link can actually do, and this is what a good link can do. On the other hand, the on the other hand, we are looking at a lot coming towards the mid lane. It is going towards, look at that bid already being targeted. The black shoes being popped. Looks like the Tempest of Bed will be using as well. It will be helping. Oh, wait a minute. He also needs to know maybe Sarah Moon might go in with, I mean, not the Sarah Moon, but it will be the Grog. But the base is also being attacked by the Lord, by the members of Team ABM, and looks like it will be a clean sweep from Team ABM.
Victory!
What a match. Just no words. Again, Team ABM come out on top and they have decided to, take the revenge which they seek, like I said. And with that, I mean, just out rotation, out farming, the draft as well. Such a good draft coming in from the side of Team ABM. They waited till the last moment to pick up that link. And, when they pick up the link, there was no counter on the enemy side. And he just had the best time of his life with no crowd control and just, picking up those blades and using his combos in the way that he was able, to do it without any CC or any disturbance from the enemy side.
Oh, yes, that is true. Ling was just there in every single team fight possible. He was making sure how bid will be taken off. He did not even survive with the black shoes. That is something he has to see. He was always exposed into the team fight. So maybe that is where the downfall started for the side of Team Eliminators. On the other hand, congratulations to Team ABM. They have picked up another win and they will be proceeding towards the semifinals. And with that, we will be back again for the match two because the match two will be this interesting as well. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back at 9:30. एक सेकेंड
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Royal Rumble Showdown Season 1, powered by Thunder Esports. This is round 4 of day 6, and the upper bracket quarterfinals between Lafukabi and Special Grade. I am your caster Asuya, and I am joined with a brilliant caster
Welcome
Ray.
to
So,
my
Ray,
Your
castle,
how are you
team is
my
today?
banning.
friend.
Well, I am doing really, really well, and I'm excited to witness the match between two really good teams that we have tonight. It is none other than one of the most formidable teams in India right now. It is the Lafukabi on the blue
Still
side,
waters run
and we
deep.
Your
have
team is
Special Grade
banning.
on the red side, who is also such a strong team because, after all, they have made it into the quarterfinals, defeating so many teams. So I'm curious to see what they will be going for their draft. And we are just seeing the standard bans from the side of Special Grade, but Lafukabi seems to have done some of the homework and doing a little bit of respect bans.
Well, I do think so, but at the same time, Ray, I do believe that our Lord, especially after the buff he has just received, he has,
Mhm.
made up his way
Sir,
again back
what's your
into the ranks,
command? Your
back into
team
the
is
tournaments.
banning.
He is pretty OP, especially towards the late game. He can sustain between 5 people. That life spellbomb coming from that Arlord is completely amazing, and we do know why Grog has been banned because of just recently his mana requirements have just been removed. So yeah, he has become a pretty nice pick.
Who
Don't
said
you
there are
think so,
no
Ray?
shortcuts in life?
Your
I
Yes,
team is
Grok
literally
just
picking.
invented
immediately
one.
went from one of the least picked tanks to immediately to the top picks on this meta right now. That removal of the mana gave him the mobility to choose any boots instead of some people went for the mana boots, which was not recommended at all, but he still had to recall back to the base a lot. So removal of the mana gives him
My
the
mission
ability to
is
just
to
spam his
protect
walls.
lives.
And we are seeing Mina on that Hylos priority pick. Even after the nerfs, I think he is a decent pick, but I think as an EXP laner, it all boils down to how well your team can give you
Butterflies
that window
born
to
by my
dominate
wish,
the
guided
opposite
by
EXP lane. What do
lanterns
you think,
light.
Asuya?
Absolutely, Ray. If you ask me, I do think that Hylos is a pretty weak pick in the EXP lane, but at the same time, if your entire team synergy and your execution is brilliant, he can become a pretty good pick right there. Especially if there is some pick like Phoebus, he can completely counter him with his massive HP. At the same time, we do see a Sushin incoming. Just today she received that buff, so I think she is again,
Your
that
team is
strong
Years
pick
picking.
right there. And
of imprisonment.
Terizla has also been picked, right? Do you think Vexana or an Aurora will be picked? Because I do believe that they are the strongest mages right now. Or will there be a Hayabusa or Roger coming?
And I think you will be right because Aggressive will probably go for that Hayabusa with the Oogie Shadow kill, but at the same time, Nolan's Snowball is also quite unstoppable. So let's see what will Aggressive go for that jungler. And I think Zozo will probably go for his signature Vexana pick unless he wants to display a different mage this time. But I think he will be prioritizing to pick the mage later on. And K on that jaw had Rome. I do know Johedrome
Your
is
team
also
is
very
picking.
prevalent in this meta. What do you think of it, Asaya?
Well, if you ask me, Jawhead can target lock that Zushin, especially, when if she is on low HP, she can just use her ultimate and, retreat. So, yeah, a target lock onto that Zushin with that Jawhead, and then him throwing her to the front lines could be a pretty viable option right here. At the same time, that Hayabusa has been picked, although
Power is
I
on the
do
way.
believe a Nolan pick
Your
could have
team
been
is banning.
better because, that Hayabusa he gets pretty weak if it's a pretty tanky pick coming from the enemy. But as I mentioned before, at the end of the game, what matters is how the entire team is playing. So, Ray, what do you think would be the bans incoming now? Because, Alice is also open, and nowadays she is wreaking havoc in the goal lane.
Yes, absolutely. I think Alice ban or a pick will be incoming soon. And I think Brandon will probably go for a Lunox pick to counter that Alice, because Alice does have a higher HP pool, so Lunox can take her down easily. So let's see what strategy the side of Team Special Grade will be going for.
Hope will find
And
a
they
way,
are banning
even
out
when
that
all is
Vexana, the
forlorn.
signature pick of Zozo, being denied immediately. They have done their homework, and at this point it is quite known that Zozo is just such a nightmare on that Vexana. And let's see what will be the bans from the side of Team Lafukabi. Will they do a few more respect bans, or will it be meta bans? What do you think, Asaya?
Well, if you ask me, I think banning out some meta bans like, that Aurora, the Lolita, the Julian, the Zask, and I mean, yeah, these picks are pretty viable and devastating at the
I
same
see
time. So
lots
yeah,
of prey.
they should be banned. But at the same time, we do see a Roger ban incoming. Even after the recent nerf, he is still there, being that king of the jungle because he can farm pretty fast. Don't you think so, Ray?
Yes, Rogers' defense as well as the attack scaling being nerfed did hit him quite hard, and he is not the go-to goal laner anymore. But that nerf can be negated with, picking up the retribution, as you will gain the attack buff from killing the jungle monsters as well as the cooldown reduction. The nerf will be completely negated, and most teams have understood that Roger is still a
I
nightmare to
am
face off
Your
against.
vengeance
team
So
is
they will just
incarnate.
be
victorious.
banning him out and not taking any risk. Not to mention they have the Hylos, who can also get melted down by that Rogers HP, consuming damage, and they are just not taking any risk. After all, Hayabusa is a little bit of a fragile link once he uses up his Oogie Shadow Kill, and he can be taken down. And we are
Light
going to be
me
seeing,
up
oh, it
and
is the
watch the
Your
Xbox
team
ban
world
is
coming in.
beaten.
burn.
Makes sense considering they have a Hylos, don't you think so, Asaya?
Well, I was just about to say this that Xborg is still open and he can be, that nightmare for Zushan because he can easily target the black lanes, especially with his ultimate because he is completely invincible and you cannot stop him. But at the same time, they have that Matilda pick and Ray. I have seen that,
My
some
kiss
Matildas, they are
grants
not
you
pretty good because they just
immortality
dive into the back
or
lane and,
death.
end up dying. But I have also seen the people who pick that Matilda and they are so well with her. She gives that dashes, providing dashes at the nick of time, giving so much heal. So yeah,
Magic is
I think
my
that Matilda
life.
could be a game changer here. But at the same time, like I mentioned before, that Alice has been picked for that gold lane, Ray. So what do you think?
I mean, it was very, expected, and our expectations were not disappointed, as Alice has been picked by San Sin on the side of special grade, and it will be responded with a hard pick from Brendan. I was expecting to see a Lunox, but at the same time, I think he does not want to risk going too close to that Terizla, to that Alice, and Zozo picking up the Valentina. I think he wants to copy the penalty zone, don't you think so?
Well, yes, penalty zone is a thing, but at the same time, she has that Alice's ultimate. She can be invincible and target the back lanes. So I think it is a pretty good trade right here, Ray. But at the same time, I do believe a Mincetar could also have been a great pick here. Don't you think so, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, to counter that, Harid, I mean, Sidra could have been a good pick on that goal lane. And I understand why they banned out the Xborg, because I have seen the Matilda Xborg combo being used a lot in these tournaments. And so far, I think they have a really high win rate, and that is why they denied it. And, well, it is very understandable. Against a Hayabusa, like most people will always go for a Julian, because Julian is immune during the second enhanced phase of the skill. So both teams have a really solid draft, in my opinion. I just think the Valentina, instead of the Valentina, an Aurora would have been a much better pick, don't you think so? I mean, she could have posed the Alice, the Trizla, and even the Jushin. Don't you think so, Asaya?
Well, Ray, if you ask me, that Aurora needs to land up her second skill from pretty far, and that Alice will be kind of sticking to her to kill her, I think. So, Valentina is a pretty good pick here because she has those dashes. She can dash away from Zushin, she can dash away from Julian, she can dash
Mhm.
away from that Alice too. So, I think it was a pretty good pick, but at the same time,
Welcome
I
to
do
Mobile
think a
Legends!
Minsadar or a Kufra pick could also have been great.
5 seconds till
Yes, I
the
agree
enemy
with you. I
reaches
think
the
they are going
battlefield.
for that because
Smash
after
them!
all, Aurora is at the end
All troops
immobile
deployed!
mage. She does not have a single dash to escape from the onslaught that could be coming in from that Alice or that, just like you said, the penalty zone as well as the Jushin's second skill. So I think she Zozo picked the Valentina to avoid being picked off. Oh, we see that Jawhead is already trying to interrupt the buffs as we head on to the Land of Dawn. Both teams will be competing on the spot for the next round. And let's proceed to the Jawhead was being a little bit of a menace and delayed the jungle. And that might be a key point, because one of the main things that Julian, specializes in is that early game. As soon as he becomes level 3, he can start dominating. But I think that was a great decision making from the side of Team Lafukabi. Don't you think so, Asiya?
Well, absolutely, Ray. Because he becomes Julian, just needs to be level 3 to snowball the entire game. Even though he was nerfed, I think he is still a menace for the marksmen, a menace for the mage players. And at the same time, I do see that Matilda in a pretty precarious position out there, but Hayabusa just dashes behind.
Yes, I really thought Hayabusa could be able to get that kill, but Hayabusa just was slightly a little bit of a level gap, and he was not level 4 on time to take the first blood onto that Matilda. But Matilda does waste her resource, the flicker. It is a very valuable resource, and I think the next time, in the next 120 seconds, she can be prioritized by aggressive on that Hayabusa. The turtle will be spawning in soon. Team Lafukabi looking at a better position to take down this turtle. I mean, look at that jawhead.
Yes, absolutely. I did see that K camping and waiting for that Julian, but Julian just dashes out because he still has it. And that Zukshin trying to give some CC right there, but Hylos has that revitalize. I think, they should retreat because they are near the turret and it could be a pretty bad trade coming off. But at the same time, Matilda has been taken down and Hayabusa trying to dish out some damage to that Julian. I think that Julian will also be taken down, but no, he just barely escapes. And no, he has also been taken down by that Jawhead. What a beautiful gang coming right there. Just look at that Hylos. He's still trying to dish out some damage. And at the same time, we do see Harith overtaking that Alice in the gold lane.
I think that was a very bad overextension from the side of Team Lafukabi. They were leading on with 3 kills, but they just gave away 3 kills to that Terisla by Celeste from the side of Sidegrade. I think that that was a really bad trade, don't you think so, Asiya?
Absolutely. That's what I was saying, that Hylos was overextending at that point and then he just got dragged inside the turret by that Lucian. And at the same time, I see that Harith is in a pretty precarious position. He does pop off that Diamond Spores. I think he will be able to dash away, and that Joyhead coming at the brink of time trying to rescue Harith, and he is successful. And Valentina is also coming out, but I think she will just be poking a bit because they do not have their hyper yet.
Yeah, and on the top lane engage, Valentina was level 4 ahead of Terizla due to her passive, and that penalty zone gameplay was very beautiful. So one thing Team Special Grade really needs to watch out is Valentina copying any penalty zones and look for their positions. Also, one more thing, I think the side of Special Grade has way too much magic damage, don't you think so? I mean, the only physical damage they have is that as we see another engage happening in, Matilda coming in with the bin, saving that Alice with a sliver of her HP as she retreats at 1 HP, barely surviving as all 4 of the members are on that bot lane. Hylos has also come in. Oh, that beautiful second skill coming in from Chushin. Hayabusa with that Oogie Shadow kill as well. He might be able to take down that Matilda. There is so much happening right now.
Well, absolutely, and Matilda did flicker out, but I think that Hayabusa is in a very bad position. He used up his ultimate and still didn't dash out, but the Zaman Force hasn't popped up. I think he will, Terizla will be taken down, but at the same time, Zushin takes down that Harith, and Valentina trying to take down that Zushin, but she just pops up her Aegis. Well, what a beautiful trade-off coming, but at the same time, don't you think that Lafukabi? Oh my God, Valentina took that Lucian down. She was literally waiting for that Aegis to go down, and Matilda trying to dish out some damage, but I think she will be able to escape Valentina. Yes, what a beautiful dash out from lane. At the same time, oh my God, Jawhead did take that Julian down, but I think he will be taken down. He will be punished for that overextension, or no? Oh yes, he is. So Ray, please take it up.
Yeah, I think Shushan's recall on that position was really odd. Why was she recalling right next to the wall where she was vulnerable? I mean, even if Valentina wouldn't be coming, the rest of the team members were alive. So I think Shushan really needs to watch her positioning. I was really, surprised by how well she was able to prioritize the Brandon on that turret as well as the Hayabusa, and I think she might get punished here as well. She does use her ultimate to try and get away, but oh, that was an ultimate copy from Valentina who was able to secure that kill, but I think she might get punished unless Team Lafukabi has something else to say about it. I think so far Zozo is really making the plays right now, and K on that Jawhead as well as the Hayabusa really giving on-time backup. And so far, I think Lafukabi has just a better overall synergy. Unless, I think one thing that they're doing is that they're overextending sometimes, but at the same time, they do have sufficient enough damage to respond against Team Special Grade. There is just so much back and forth going on because look at the scoreboard, it's quite even.
Well, yes, it's quite even, but we do see Lafukabi dominating the entire map. I think, just as you said, that Valentina is the MVP here. The way she is executing her skill is brilliant, and the way she's playing is beautiful. She is killing people and retreating, even manages to retreat. Just look at that. Again, I think she will be trying to look at that penalty zone with that flicker coming from that Valentina. Just as I said, oh, what a brilliant gameplay coming from Zozo. Oh my God. I have seen him playing Lunox a lot, but I think his Valentina is very good.
Yeah, I think like I have seen Zozo on Vexana a lot recently. He was able to get most of the MVPs, so I was denied of other mage gameplays. But I think Vexana being banned out because most teams have realized that Zozo can be a nightmare to deal with the Vexana. I think Zozo has expanded his hero pool onto the other mages like Lunox, just like you said, and his Valentina is also very impressive so far. And oh no, I think he copied the wrong ultimate, but he was able to escape with the sliver of HP left as Lafukabi decides to disengage and re-engage as Hayabusa and Jawhead are back onto the scene.
Well, Ray, they have that high loss and that revitalize, so I think, that Hayabusa, he doesn't even have a bit of farm, so yes, he is not dishing out so much damage. At the same time, like, just look at that. Harry trying to pop up that Zaman force in between 5 people. I think that was a miscalculation right there because you are alone at this point. You are not that Valentina who can, just dash out with those brilliant gameplays and ultimate copies.
Yeah, I think like Harid does have the Zaman force, but I think he's playing a little bit too aggressive and oh, beautiful ejector coming in from the Jawhead, taking out the problem maker, the Chushin from the side of team. Oh, look at that, Zozo copying the Chushin ultimate, surviving at the sliver of HP again. And I'm seeing so many 1 HP gameplays tonight. Like, look at that Julian just surviving even at a little bit higher boost. I was trying to look for that Julian, but he did not succeed as Julian was able to survive and went back to his lane. I think Lafukabi is leading on with a 3000 goal right now because they secured most of the objectives and they even took down all of the outer turrets. Like you can see mid, bot, and top. The Harit is doing a phenomenal job at pushing down the turret, but I think they need to play a little bit safe and they will be able to dominate. I mean, look at the damage from Harit. I think that is why he got a little bit overconfident and he was trying to do 1 versus 5 because he knows that he has damage, but at the same time, he just needs to play it safe and be a little bit more patient, don't you think, Shafi?
Well, absolutely, because I have seen Lafukabi throw a lot of games, and yes, they are pretty aggressive, but I think the first lot will be taken by that Lafukabi here. And that contest coming for the blue buff, and Harrit just takes it away. Ray, just like, the team composition of Lafukabi, like, even though it was a pretty weird at the first point, but now just looking at that execution, it is making sense. Don't you think so?
Yeah, we are seeing an engage happening in Terzla penalty zone being forced by the ejector of the Jawhead. Oogie Shadow Kill coming in as well. Oh my god, so many similar ultimates being popped off. I have like hard time seeing who is the one using the ultimate because of the Valentina, but Julian with that beautiful killing spree onto the target and Hayabusa as well. I think this is what like one of the weaknesses of Lafukabi. I mean, if you have a player named aggressive in your team, well, it is understandable why you play so aggressive. But I think they are trying, like, they are dragging their games for too long because they could have just, backed off after taking down the Lord. Because since they didn't, like, look at this. 3 people are already down, and Valentina copying that Matilda ultimate was also not sufficient as 4 people down from the side of Team Lafukabi. They really, really need to play a little safe and understand when the resources are wasted, or they might be giving out this game to Special Grade, who are completely catching up, lowering the gold difference right now.
Well, Ray, I think that Harith will be able to take down that Julian. Yes, he is so farmed at this point. That true damage coming from that Harith is absolutely amazing. And just like you said, I think Special Grade need to team up. They need to defend and get some gold out there because they do have, those late game heroes like Alice. And one more thing, just look at that Alice. She doesn't have a winter crown yet. Why is she not prioritizing that? Because she is even diving behind and just dying out there.
I'm really not sure. A Winter Truncheon does make sense at this point, considering the burst damage that is coming from Brendan on that Harith right now. Not to mention there is even a Hayabusa as well as the Jawhead Ejector. So I think Wintercon should be okay. I mean, I think Terzla was also trying to prioritize, but I think he will be going with Swing Swing instead. Hayabusa with the beautiful Oogie Shadow Kill, but he was not able to secure the Matilda, who just scots away onto the base and regenerates most of her health back. And I think Team Special Grade, despite making, prioritizing the mistakes that Team Lafukabi was making, they're pushed back onto a corner as they're forced to stay inside their base as Lafukabi. Oh, that beautiful penalty zone coming in from both sides.
Well, absolutely, and we do see a glorious pathway being popped up, and Zushin has been taken down by Valentina, and Alice literally manages to escape in 1 HP. Like, literally, such a beautiful penalty zone coming from both the teams, and I think Lafukabi will be able to, take down one of the turrets. I don't know, but I think they should just retreat because the Lord has just come up, and taking the Lord would be a better option here, but at the same time, I think that Alice, no, she just retreats back, but Matilda has been taken down. Like, why are they soloing? They know that they are not winning the game right now. They should defend. Why are you just going there? Ray, what do you think? If you were them, what would you be doing at this point?
Oh, but we are seeing an engage coming in. That's Tyree on that Julian, really trying to secure all those kills. I think Hylos will be taken down as well. Alice is trying to go back. The revival has been popped off as well, and I think it is a 3 people down from the side of Team Lafukabi. And is that right when you asked me the question? It has been answered from the side of Special Grade, who just executed a beautiful team fight as they will be going forward at Lord.
Well, absolutely. I think it will be kind of grey loss for Special Grade, but at the same time, I do see that Hayabusa is still alive, and the team backup has also arrived, but they are just dying one by one. Even Zozo is dead, but that Harith trying to deal some damage, but I don't think so it will be sufficient. And Zushin moving, dealing damage to Hayabusa, but he just escapes with his. Oh my god, his Oogie shadows are just literally confusing the enemy, but Zushin will be able to take him down.
Yeah, I do hope to see the Winter Truncheons coming in from the side of Team Special Grade right now, because they really needed the burst damage from Brendan as well as the Hayabusa. It is kind of, being really fatal on them. And not to mention even the Jawhead, who is prioritizing taking down. I mean, I think he will be able to take down the solo kill onto that Chushin, who just did pop off the Aegis and was able to back down. Oh, even the Hylos is coming onto that scene. Anyways, finally Alice has a Winter Truncheon, and she may be able to turn the tides of the team fight. She has been melted down by Harith multiple times, so maybe this time with the Winter Truncheon, she will finally be able to sustain long enough in the team fight. What do you think, Asaya?
Well, absolutely. That's what I was waiting for. But at the same time, Ray, didn't Special Grade have that perfect opportunity to take down that Lord since Hayabusa was down? Why did they just wait up for so long? And now they're right there camping. Like, if the enemy takes the Lord, they are like trying to steal it.
I think it was the fact that Jushin was taken down quite low and they did not want to take risk of the team fight. But I do agree they should have, one of them should have started the Lord already. They do have the Turisla for that sustain. But I think they're playing a little bit passive right now. And oh my god, that beautiful ejector coming in from that Jawhead onto that Turisla as well. So many resources being popped in. Zozo with that beautiful penalty zone from his side. A Winter Truncheon being popped in by that Julian, but it is just not sufficient enough. He will be taken down. K on the Jawhead just making the plays right now. He is prioritizing people left and right and took down most of the people as it is almost a complete wipeout as Alice is against the world, against Lafukabi, waiting to defend it. And I think she will just be retreating back to her base as Lafukabi. I think they will not even take the Lord. They know they have their numbers advantage and they are just going down on that base.
Well, absolutely. I think Lafukabi will be taking that base. Just look at how the HP is draining. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the first match is Lafukabi. They are the victors. They have proven that they have the better synergy in this game, and that beautiful gameplay led to this victory. So, Ray, what is your analysis of the game?
I think Special Grade was doing really like good, but I think in some moments they were really confused on what to do, and like that led to some of miscommunications happening in on their side, and they lost many of their team fights. And honestly, even if they were doing very well, I think they were just prioritized on the mistake that Lafukabi made. But at the end, Lafukabi was not playing off anymore, and they just took the all the opportunities with Zozo's Valentina as well as the Brandon was no longer diving in 1 versus 5 and he prioritized taking down people one at a time that led to their victory. I do hope I would probably see a Harit or maybe a Valentina ban as a respect coming in from the side of Special Grade as we will proceed on to game number 2 in the best of 3 series right now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to witness a game number 2 between Special Grade and Lafukabi. As Lafukabi has gotten the match point, they have gotten their first victory onto this best of 3 series right now. I am Ray back again with a brilliant voice. It is Asuya with me on the caster's deck. Oh, and we are seeing no bans for the side of Special Grade coming in this time. Anyways, Asuya, how are you feeling right now?
Well, I am pretty excited, Ray, because this
Who
match
said
can
there
be
are
the
no shortcuts in
winner. Like,
life?
it
I
can decide
literally
if
invented
Lafukabi
one.
will go on ahead or if Special Grade will be showing us an epic comeback. So yeah, at the same time, we did see no ban incoming from the side of Special Grade. What do you think could be the reason? Have they kind of lost hope in their epic comeback?
I think it like the most possible as well as reasonable explanation would be that perhaps one of them faced a disconnection issue, but I think that won't be that much of a problem because you know at this point both teams know each other's strategies and know each other's bans as well as they are aware of the meta, so it all
Magic is
boils
my
down to
life.
the
Your
execution,
team
and
is
we
banned.
are seeing Brandon's Harit being banned out as respect ban from the side of team Special Grade, a very understandable one because none of the teammates from the side of Special Grade were able to sustain the true damage from that Starlium side and that Zaman Force combo from Harith anymore. Let's see what will Lafu ban out this time to or whether to respect or just ban out the meta bans. What do you think, Asuya?
Well, I think the
The
respect bans
hunt
could be pretty good
begins.
here, but
Your
at the same
team is
time, we
banning.
cannot ignore the meta picks because they are
Still
so
waters
OP.
run
Just
deep.
look at
Your
that.
team
Ling
is
wasn't
banning.
picked, and Ling was banned in the last game. He has been banned in this game too, but at the same time, you did see how much of a trouble that Zozo's Valentina, gave to Special Grade in the last game. So, do you think will there be a Valentina ban incoming?
I think it can be possible if they are going for ultimates that are very resourceful, like that Terizla again. But this time, they can just decide to pick heroes that do not rely on their ultimates that
Hope will
much, you know.
find a way,
And so,
even
oh,
when
we are
odds
seeing a
forlorn.
Vexana ban coming in instead. What do you think?
Well, absolutely. She is a devastating mage after all, her chain CC, her damage, her minion clearing speed is absolutely amazing. So yeah, a pretty respectful ban right there. But at the same time, I always believe that if there is a Vexana being banned and the other side has, the first pick, I think Aurora could be a pretty good hero here because
I'm not
Vexana
the
and
only
Aurora are
one
always
bound by
traded
Your
these
off,
team
but
is
at the
chains.
banning.
same time, I do see a Phobius pick incoming. Such a good pick here, Ray.
Yeah, I think the Phobius was banned out in the last game, but he will be immediately prioritized on that EXP lane by uh, Yes, will be taking that Phobius to the EXP lane, and I think Nina will be going to respond with an Xborg, or will it be aggressive on that Xborg? The Hayabusa is still open, but I think maybe aggressive does not want to take a risk. Oh no, it is going to be a Hylos Roam and Xborg EXP, a very strong pick from the side of Team Lafukabi right now.
Well, a lot of picks are still open. Maybe a Zas could be picked. A Julian is also open. Xborg has been already picked, but yeah, Terizla is open. And as you said, Hayabusa is also open. But Arlot hasn't been banned either. So do you think we could see an Arlot roam incoming or no?
I think it might
Days
not be
are
possible for the
radiant
side
with
of
the void.
Team Lafukabi, considering they are facing off against Phobius. But the side of Team Special Grade, they have the opportunity to go for an Arlet home, unless
Command
oh no, it
Your
confirmed.
is
team is
the
Rhino online.
infamous rock guy. It is the Grok back again in the meta, picking off for the side of Special Grade. He was banned in the previous game from the side of Lafukabi, and seeing he is open,
I see lots of
Kaliste has
gray.
Your
prioritized
team
taking
is
it as well
banning.
as aggressive on that Roger. It is really nice to see a change of pace and a change of picks coming in because Roger, Grok, they were banned out in the last game. So let's see how both teams will be able to execute these picks. Not to mention, one thing I would like to mention is that Nolan, he really, really relies on the early snowball. If Lafogabi denies
As
it, then
fleeting as
I
a
think it
Your
will
team is
be a
banning.
victory
As
for the side of
timeless as a
Lafogabi.
glacier's
But if
heart.
Kyrie is able to snowball in the early phases, yeah, I think we will see a different outcome. Don't you think so, Asuya?
Well, absolutely, Ray. I completely agree with you, but at the same time, we see that an Aurora has also been banned out. But Ray, Edith is also open, and we know how OP she can be with all the CC from all her three skills.
I
So,
didn't
do you
cure the
think
pain.
Oh,
Your
I
Edith will
team
be
see.
is
picked? But
banning.
just as I said before, Valentina, like considering the devastation she wrecked in previous game, she has been banned.
Yes, and it is very funny to see. It is what happens when you have like really good mage players on your team. Like most of the mages are being banned out. Like usually you'll see the junglers like Fanny, Ling, Hayabusa, Nolan being banned out, but they are prioritizing taking down the mages as most of the
It is
top
in
tier mages has
despair
already
that
Your
been
I
taken
see
team
the
is
down.
banning.
fondest
Just like you said,
hopes.
it is the aura and the respect ban of Valentina coming in. I'm curious to see what will Zozo go for.
My
Will it be a
kiss
Luowi
grants
or
you
will it be
immortality or
a
death.
very odd pick like God? What do you think Zozo will be going for this time?
Well, he does, play pretty well on that Lunox because I have seen him pick Lunox in a lot of tournaments. At the same time, we do have a Lui open too, and she can be pretty cool.
Your
At
team
the same
is
time, we
mentioned.
see an Angela
And
being picked. Oh my god, Roger and Angela pick is absolutely brilliant. Don't you think so, Ray?
yeah, Zozo on that Angela mid lane. Usually I expect the Angela to be coming in with the Roger, but since Kay had already picked the Hylos, I wasn't anticipating it. But Zozo, knowing that most of the mages have been banned out, he realized that the way he can provide the utility to his team is picking up a support mid lane, and a Roger Angela combo, I think, is one of the most scariest combo because it gives Roger
The
that
falling
extra
stars brought us
survivability.
here.
And I think Novaria will be making her debut on this game as
I've been
Novaria
waiting
has
for
been
too
picked.
long.
Come on, Dexter. It's our showtime.
Well, Ray, I mean, Novaria is a pretty new pick coming in these tournaments. After the nerf to her ultimate, her pick rate had gone absolutely low. But we do see her coming back right there. And at the same time, I see special grade. They are lacking that CC, which Lafukabi has, they have that high loss at least. Although they do lack CC, I think both the teams are pretty good. What do you think, Ray?
And I think both teams have really good draft right now. And like I'm very impressed by that. What do you say? The Angela mid lane pick coming in from the side of Team Lafukabi right now, which will be able to give the sustain to the Blazing Duet as well as the Last Insanity whenever they are being
Welcome to
popped
Mobile
off. So
Legends.
Angela pick will be the key
5
maker
seconds
in
till the
this game,
enemy
in my
reaches the
opinion, from the
battlefield.
side of Team
Smash them.
Lafokabi. On the other hand,
All
Novaria
teams
is a very
deployed.
interesting pick, just like you said, and that carry will be able to melt down that Hylos easily. And it all relies on two factors. On the side of special grade, they need to make Nolan snowball, and on the side of Team Lafokabi, they need to deny the snowball and utilize the Angela as much as possible.
Yes, absolutely. At the same time, we see both the junglers starting from the left side. So I think they will be ganking onto that gold lane to the marksman. What do you think, Ray?
Yes, I think like ganking the marksmen would be a good choice. I mean, carry would be devastating for the side of Lafokabi as Hylos is their front laner and will be taken down. And not to mention the Claude with the recent Manaless update, he is such a terrifying presence because Claude can finally utilize the maximum of his potential with Assassin or Marksman emblems. So both sides need to focus on the goal lane as well. And let's see what will happen as all of the team members seem to be focusing on to that goal lane. Oh, Nolan might be looking for a kill and that wall, beautiful wall coming in as well. Oh, Hylos has popped off his revitalize quite early on to save the Angela, and I think they will be able to back off immediately. Both teams suffering no casualties and will just be recalling back to the base.
Well, absolutely. And I do see a Roger trying to extend, trying to poke that carry, but Grok is there with her, so she is safe. At the same time, looking at Angela, she is in a pretty low HP. I think Nolan will be on to her. And will she be taken down in? Yes, the first blood has been taken by Nolan, but at the same time, Roger takes that revenge for taking away that Angela from them.
Yeah, that was a first blood coming in from the side of Team Special Grade. I thought they will be able to make the snowball, but it was immediately denied by the side of Lafukabi, who were able to take down that Nolan. Oh, that Novaria skill almost landed on time, but it was not enough to succeed to take down it. But oh, we might be seeing an engage coming in, that blue buff might be taken. Oh, Nolan was able to secure that buff immediately without any issues. I really thought that blue buff might be taken down by the Lafukabi, but Nolan was able to secure, and buying a little bit more time, I think Nolan is in a little bit of a tight position as he lost that early snowball because that was just a trade, and he really needs to look for another kill onto his side before the game progresses on to the mid game where he will lose his shine. Oh, that beautiful save coming in from Angela with the hard guard.
Well, absolutely. And, we cannot miss how perfect that flame shot and that meteor strike from that Novaria was. But that Angela shield did save that, like, carrying in, sorry, that Lord in a pretty low HP. And I do think that Nolan will be seen to gank that Roger. But no, I think they should just retreat and wait for the turtle because Nolan did lose out on a pretty early game.
Yeah, and I think Nolan is kind of suffering right now. He is not able to like understand who to prioritize. Like he could go for the Claude, but he has the Angela on him. He could go for the Roger, who is right now a little bit of fed, so prioritizing him is not a good choice. Angela is just roaming around the map, and he's having a hard time to find her where she could be. Eggborg is also playing safe and quite dominating against the Phobius, so Nolan is put into a tight position and he will just be waiting it out for his first item to deal some damage as the second turtle will be spawning in, and Lafukabi looks like in a little bit more of a comfortable position to take down this turtle, but I think Special Grade will be coming in to compete for it.
Well, I do see Lafukabi gathering in the top lane, and I also see that Roger trying to steal up, that Nolan's jungle. So I think he is pretty far ahead in gold, a bit at least. And that engage coming onto the turtle with that glorious pathway and that last insanity being popped up, and that beautiful meteor strike along with that flame shot coming from that Novaria. Oh my god. And at the same time, we did see that Nolan also take that turtle away, Ray.
Oh, just like you said, Nolan was able to successfully take down that turtle and giving the slight advantage to his team. And I think he's trying to look for another kill. I think Nolan is back on track. He is catching back his tempo as he was able to secure the turtle with his retribution, and he also took down a kill. But oh no, he might be paying the price for it. But thankfully, that beautiful wild placement from that Grok was able to save him from the healing from that Angela, and they are back into a really good pacing right now as Phobius is also looking for an engage, and things are looking good for the side of Special Grade at this point.
Yes, absolutely, and I do see that Hylos in a pretty bad position right there, and the wall has been popped up, so I think he won't be able to get out. They just wait, but they just know that he is pretty tanky, and they need a bit more equipments right there. And look at the damage onto that Nolan, but he will be securing that buff, and Hylos popping up that revitalize. So I think that Rock will be in a dangerous position. He does use the wild charge, and that Titan Pounce takes his life away. And look at that follow up coming from Lafukabi. All of the members are right there to protect that one member.
Yeah, it was a good, I think Aggressive made a good decision, seeing that Grok had exhausted his skill. He timed his Lycan bounce on time and was able to secure another kill to his side. Aggressive has not been taken down a single time, and that could be looking bad for the side of team. Oh my god, Kyrie securing another kill. He is trying to get back the snowball that he lost in the early phases of the game, as the third turtle has already spawned in. Will he try to compete for it? He is, in a little bit of a far away position right now. I think he won't be able to. What do you think?
Well, I think he is trying to dash in, but no, instead he tries to take that Claude down, but even he just manages to dash out. I think they need to, maybe even gank the EXP lane at this point, because that carry is doing a pretty good job, like draining that HP from that Claude, but that Angela just pops up her ultimate on him at the nick of time, and that's how that aggressive is still safe, because maybe that Angela knows that saving their marksman could be, earning them the late game. At the same time, I do see that Nolan trying to kill that Lord, and I think he is in a precarious position right there, but no, he does manages to escape. Oh my god. But
Oh, that
no.
was a mistake of Brandon. I think he should have known that Nolan was still in that bush. He should have immediately backed off instead of staying there, and he did pay off with his life as he was taken down by that Nolan, who also went back to his base without any issues. Roger was not able to come back in time. And I really, really agree with you about the EXP lane gang, because Mina so far, like Phobius did take him down once, but Mina will be be a much of a threat, like a really big threat as the game progresses on to the late game. They have the Phobias and that Grok who will be melted down by that Xbox. True damage coming in with that War X soon. Carry is charging in onto K on that Hylos sorry, he is using that glorious pathway to give a little bit of a window and engage. Both of the teams are trading blows after blows. Xbox with that last insanity as well, but it misses it. Ed Carry uses the flicker to run away. Angela's shield is so massive and saves the Roger from incoming doom as Phobius might fall. Oh my god, what is that sustain? How long did he survive? Oh my god. Oh my god, how did he survive for so long? I really thought he was about to be taken down, but I think that vengeance play really saved him a lot of time as his team was able to take down 2 of the people from the side of Team Lafukabi as the momentum is going towards the side of Team Special Grade.
Well, I think they will be able to take down that Lord, but at the same time, I do see that Lord, but just look at that damage. I think he should just dash away and play it safe because they do not have the jungler just yet, and the Lord have been taken down along with that Lord. Oh my god, just as I said, that was a misplay on his part. And one more thing, Ray, which I have noticed is that, that special grade starts off well, and Lafukabi is, pretty good. Maybe it's a pattern that they like throwing it away, like they just did. And yes, but then they get that comeback. So yeah, I cannot predict that. Even though things are looking good for special grade, I think there will be a turning point in this game where Lafukabi will suddenly be dominating the entire game once again. Do you think so, Ray?
You know, I honestly agree because the thing about Lafukabi right now is that most of the heroes scale really strong onto that late game. Roger with the full build can easily take down Nolan in a 1 versus 1 or even a 2 versus 1 situation because he will have the Angela's Heart Guard on top of him. Not to mention Xborg will have his immortality soon, and Claude will also probably have, like a lot of damage. But unless Special Grade has to say something about it, if they do not give the window of opportunity to Lafukabi, I think this game number 2 can be secured quite well. They just need to have, need to watch the positioning and be aware of any form of ambushes or charging in, coming in from the side of Team Lafukabi, and they will be in good hands.
Well, absolutely, and look at that Phobius charging in and popping up his vengeance. The amount of damage that Carry is dishing and taking down that Angela. Oh my god, I think that Lord should just retreat, and Glorious Pathway does come in, but why are you charging there? Because all of your team has already retreated to, just heal back up. And oh my god, that Carry is being so useful at this point. Her damage is insane, and the support that she's getting is also insane, especially, that Phobius in the Vanguard knocking back and sustaining so much. Like, what a beautiful gameplay coming from this point. And Lord has been taken down. Oh my god, Ray, please take it up.
That Brandon just got one shot and he didn't even have a millisecond to react to that onslaught from 4 people. Really great priority targeting from the side of Team Special Grade right now. They are not taking a single chance of giving Lafukabi the opportunity to make a comeback. And if these why is Carrie in such an odd position? I think she will. Oh, beautiful Wind of Nature coming in at the nick of time as she was able to survive at the sliver of HP. I do think that was very overconfident still, because I mean she did survive, but that was very, very reckless coming in, and I hope Carrie does not make any more of those plays, or he might be throwing this game off to the side of Team Lafukabi.
Well, absolutely, Ray. This is something which I wanted to mention. Even, during that team fight in the mid lane, I did see that Carrie overextending on the glorious path. It's like she is pretty confident that maybe her team will save up, or maybe her skills can just save her. But at the same time, as the Lord spawns, what do you think, Ray? Who will get this turtle? Will we see some casualties?
Xbox was forced to, use the last insanity and use his Firaga armor. So I think Team Special Grade is in a better position to take down this Luminous Lord. Roger is trying to look for a position. Oh, that wall charge coming in from that Grog trying to stop him, but I think that Angela's hard guard will help him take down that Nolan, finally giving them the advantage as Roger secures the double kill, and Roger is hungry for a little bit more, but Phobius is onto that scene. But I think that Lycan Pounce will give him the shutdown that we needed, a triple kill. And just like you predicted, Asuya, this is what's happening. Team Lafukabi is making a comeback with that Roger Angela combo, as the heals as well as the damage is so much. Phobius is not able to sustain anymore, but oh no, I think the Roger might be biting a little bit more than he can chew, because that sustain coming in from Phobius just gave an Uno reverse and shut him down instead. I think he should have backed off and defended the Lord, but oh no, Hylos with a really odd positioning. Why is he charging on to a carry? But he will survive with the sliver of HP, but I think Phobius will also be taken down, and this is the shutdown that the Team Lafukabi needed. Again, multiple shutdowns coming in from the side of Team Lafukabi as they are trying to regain the goal with that bounty.
Well, I do agree that Carrie was trying to play safe there, but I think that Movius jumped in because he did believe that Carrie would follow up, and I think both of them would have taken them both down. But did she just watch that Movius being melted away by that Lord? I don't know. Maybe it was some personal grudge.
Perhaps baby Carrie was like, ah man, I think you were fine, but Phobius was like, nah, I'm not fine, and he was taken down on that scene, and that shutdown will give them the bounty. Oh, look at that carry damage. Oh, we are seeing, oh, it was, I think, a mistake from one of the referees. I guess it was a wrong pause. Oh, look at that carry smell coming in. Why? Because Hylos, I think that pause was really bad on time, and Hylos was just confused, as I think Special Grade will just be charging in onto them. Oh my god. I think, Hylos was, I mean, even if that pause didn't happen, Hylos was being melted down like he was butter on a stove, and he would not survive that even with the Angela's hard guard. So I think this is game number 2 secured by Team Special Grade as they are heading on to that Nexus. Claude did use up the Blazing Duet, trying to save up some time, but no, this is a complete... Oh, Hylos has made it back into the scene. Do you think they will be able to end?
I think they won't be able to, or maybe they will. Because that Angela is getting shut down right there, but Hylos is trying to take that carry down with that revitalize, but no, instead he will be melted down. And ladies and gentlemen, the second game, we see a epic comeback from the side of Team Special Grade. What a beautiful gameplay, especially coming from that Phobius and that carry.
Victory!
I absolutely love the duo. What are your thoughts, Ray?
Yeah, I think Special Grade had caught their memento this time as they were able to secure this victory, especially with, Carrie getting so much of the farm, not to mention Nolan did his job and secured that early snowball despite losing after losing the first blood, he was able to get back to his momentum and it led to their victory. And I think Phobius ban will definitely be coming in as we will proceed on to a game number 3 for tonight between Lafukabi and Special Grade, as both teams have a match point onto their names, and it will decide their fate, who will proceed to the next round and who will go home.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here for the game 3 and the final game, which will decide which team will go on
Magic is
ahead
my
in this
life.
tournament.
Your
And
team
we
is
have seen that
banning.
both teams have secured one win. So, yeah, this is the decisive game on our plate. And I am your caster, Asuya, back with Ray. So, Ray, what do you think? Will there be any respect bans or meta bans incoming?
I mean, just like you said, like while you were saying, um, we are already seeing the Brandon Harith being banned out completely, and I think the Valentina will be banned out again
Still
because
waters
the
run
side of
deep.
side
Your
grid were
team
playing
is
so
banning.
comfortably because they knew none of their ultimates could be stolen anymore, and they were able to utilize those team fights. So I think those two will be banned immediately, along with I think you know maybe a few more mages, like denying the Vexana and Aura to Zozo, who is really good at those mages. Denying him the mages forced him to pick an Angela onto mid lane, which was a good pick, but I think it would have been much better as the roamer, and it was not as effective in the end as they were not able to defend against the onslaught of Team Special Grade. And let's see how will Lafukabi retaliate this time, or will they fall from their grace after their first victory of tonight?
Well,
I am not
Lafukabi
the
do
only
have that
one
first
Your
pick,
bound
so
by
team
yeah,
these
is
this is what
banning.
I was
chains.
gonna say. Like, they will
Mhm.
for sure ban out that Phobius because just look at that, they have banned him out. At the same time, I truly believe that a Valentina ban could be a great ban again because that Harriet and Valentina combo did traumatize Special Grade in the first game. So, Ray, what do you think would be the last ban from both the teams?
I think it can be a meta ban from the side of Team Lafukabi right now because, well, despite
Sir,
oh, it
what's your
is the
command?
Fanny
Your
again.
team is
I think
banning.
it is to respect Kyrie's Fanny. They have banned out Fanny, like, I think almost all of the games so far, and they really don't want any of the cutthroat business from her side. And it is indeed a respect ban, just like you said.
Gaze
Oh,
upon
it
the
is a
Your
edge of the
team
Nolan
is
ban
void.
coming
banning.
in from the side of Team Special Grade. Really interesting ban. Why do you think they could have went for a Nolan ban? Are they trying to deny a reverse snowball from Lafukabi?
Well, absolutely, because we do know that Nolan is pretty good in the early game. He can snowball the entire game. Once he gets that farm, he is unstoppable. So, yeah. And at the same time, Lafu does have that first pick. So, yeah, denying that Nolan, denying that Vovis is a pretty good, decision from their part. But at the same time, I do see that Vixana, Aurora, Julian, Zaz, Kayabusa, and I think Hylos, Xborg, all of them are
My
still open.
mission
And
is to
yes,
Your
protect
Mina,
team is
lives.
picking.
straight 3 games I saw her pick that Hylos. This is the third game.
Mina really, really loves that Centaur because Mina has been picking the Hylos non-stop. Really, really, I think he has a fixation onto that Centaur. Anyways, I do agree Hylos is a good pick. I mean, it did lead to their victory in the first game, but I think after the absolute, meltdown from that carry, I think Hylos at this point they could have reconsidered for something else. I mean, Vexana is still open, Aurora is still open, which, have been banned out for almost two of those games. They could have prioritized getting them instead. Don't you think so, Asiya?
Absolutely, Ray. I
Powers up
completely
play.
agree with you. But at the same
Your
time,
team
And
is picking.
like
reignite
Special
the
Grade do have that
star.
opportunity to take up 2 meta picks, but instead they gave away that Vexana, they gave away that Aurora, and I do understand that Yuzong is a pretty good pick. He can sustain a lot. He can do 1 versus 5, especially with that passive he has. But
Hope will
I
find
think
a way.
There we
prioritizing
Even when
go.
Matilda
all is
here
forlorn.
is not a good option because we did see that Matilda losing out in the first game because they did pick her.
Yeah, and I think things are looking really good for the side of Team Lafukabi, who has finally given Zozo his signature pick, the Vexana, for the side of Team Lafukabi. And
I've
they
been
even
waiting. Your
got the
team is
carry
picking.
for Brendan. Honestly, I think Special Grade might be in a really bad position right now because last game, it was the carry who melted down the Hylos. So I really thought they could have prioritized the carry. And even the Hayabusa is open. They could have prioritized him. And they could have also prioritized the Vexana. So a Matilda and a Yuzhong pick, which will definitely not be prioritized from the side of Lafukabi, as we've seen so far. I think it is a very odd choice, not to mention, just like you said, Matilda did lose in the first game. So a bit of an odd choice here, but at the same time, I do understand their strategy. They are going for the Matilda shield and Xbox shield combo. So let's see how effective it will be in this game as the respect bands are pouring in. Nathan from the side of Lafukabi and Hayabusa's aggressive Hayabusa being taken out as well.
Well, Ray, if you ask me, I think in front of that carry, especially towards the late game, Matilda's shield are not going to do anything. They will even be, making those dominance and anti-heal. So the heal also coming from the second skill of Matilda wouldn't be enough. Especially because they do have that Vexana, she can provide that chain CC. Meanwhile, that carry can absolutely, make the entire enemy vanish from the team. Don't you think so, Ray?
Yeah, I'm really a little bit torn. I do not understand why the team special grade prioritize going for that Yuzong because they know this Hylos will probably be going for Roam or the EXP. So why did you pick Roam and EXP first instead of going for the signature pick of Zozo or even prioritizing taking the carry because they had such a good momentum. And if they're afraid of the carry being countered by perhaps any of the other assassins or something, they could have just stuck together like they have done already. But anyways, we won't be judging their draft because they of course have a strategy in their mind and they do understand what they are sacrificing. They have sacrificed the carry and the Vexana, two really high HP damage dealers onto the side of team Lafukabi. So let's see how they will be going. Francis the Sad Cat with the Novaria again, and let's see how he will be able to perform because I have a doubt this time because Vexana's Eternal Guard and Hylos being the frontliner, I don't think her skills will be hitting the backline that often. What do you think, Asuya?
Well, absolutely. I think that meteor strike could be, apprehended in between, but at the same time, I do see a Julian and a Kufra on the screen, and yes, they have been locked onto. Oh my god, Ray, Kufra is an absolute counter for that Matilda because, like, they will all be dashing around, but if Kufra charges onto them, there is no escaping. At the same time, Julian is such a good pick. He can, go backline and take down that no warrior, don't you think so?
Yeah, definitely. Julian and Kufra are really good picks in this game. I mean, I think K is a Kufra main, if I'm not mistaken. So I think Kufra is just one of the best engaging tanks, and K picking up his main as well. I think we will be in for an interesting match. Not to mention, Julian's first kill can immediately take down the Xbox Firaga armor in the early phases, which will create the trouble for the Xbox as we are seeing finally another Alice go lane, but against the carry? What do you think so this time?
Well, I think if they do, prioritize that Winter Crown early into the game, unlike the first match, I think it will be a pretty problem for that carry. But at the same time, I said the same things because it was the same matchup, I guess, in the first game, and that carry did, made the entire game an utter devastation for that Alice.
Yeah, definitely that Alice was not able to sustain in that game, and I think Special Grade want to make a statement as they will be proceeding to pick similar heroes from the first game. It is the Matilda as well as the Alice, but this time they have the Xborg and that Novaria in their arsenal. So let's see what will happen in this game as we proceed on to Land of Dawn. This is game number 3, the last game to decide the fate of both teams. This is a match point for both teams to make it to the next round. Both junglers are just proceeding to their buffs, and I think we won't see that much engages happening unless aggressive plays aggressive and looks for an ambush in that mid lane.
Well, at the same time, I have seen that key on that Kufra, and his gameplays are pretty amazing. His initiations are pretty good, and we all know that Lafukabi is really, really good at follow ups. So I think it will be, he will be singling out those marksmen. He will be singling out like the main priority targets. So I think it will be a pretty hard gain for special grade, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're facing off against Zozo's signature pick, that Vexana, the Eternal God, is just another tank, And not to mention the Kufra by K will be such a menacing foe for them to face against. I know, but look at that Julian securing that first blood on to Yuzong. This is one of the most strongest feats of Julian. As soon as he's level 3, he can already dive in, but being level 4 gives him the level advantage, and he just took down that Yuzong, who did not have any escape skill in the early phase. As we see another engage happening in, I think Carry will be taken down by the Borg's last Insanity. Really good priority marking for the side of special grade so far.
Well, absolutely, Ray. And we did see, the same thing happening even in the last game where they did not leave that goal lane solo. But at the same time, I do see that Vexana in a precarious position, but no, she just flickers away from the range of the first skill. What a beautiful flicker coming right there.
Yeah, Zozo was able to survive from that meteor strike from that Novaria. I really thought he would be taken down there, but he just rotates to the bot lane instead. I think he's trying to become level 4 with the EXP lane. Oh, Novaria was in a bad position against that Julian, who was able to take down. You have really predicted well, because just like you said, Julian that dived into the backline and took down that mage, and it was a really good kill coming in as Lafukabi leads on with a kill onto their board as the first turtle has already spawned in.
But I do see that Alice is in a pretty low HP, and yes, she has been taken down even though Novaria comes to help, but no. And at the same time, look at that high loss. He is popping up his second skill, but I think he will be taken down by that passive, but no revitalize has been found up, and Kufra also charging in. Oh my god, that glorious pathway makes that high loss retreat, but I think he will be taken down by that ultimate, but Vexana has also joined in, but she does miss out on taking that kill. And just look at that passive regenerating all that HP for that Yuzong. Like I said, Ray, Yuzong is a pretty good pick in the EXP lane. He can be, a pretty big menace, especially for that Vexana.
Yeah, and I think Xborg is prioritizing taking down that carry, but it was off to no success, and he also missed out on that second turtle. So I think that will be a little bit of a loss to their side, as they will probably have to wait for the last turtle to spawn in to go for an engage, as he will just be taking the buffs. And I think for the side of special grade, the thing that they really need to do is focus on that carry, because once that carry gets farmed, just like you said, the shields won't matter, the Xbox Firaga armor won't matter, and Wuzong will disappear into the night against that carry's absolute true damage barrage that will be coming in soon.
And I do see that Julian trying to take down that Yuzong, and I think he will be taking number 2. Oh god, just 1 HP, but yes, the same time, the same thing happening in the top lane. They are trying to, oh my god, that meteor strike connecting onto that carry, but she successfully escapes, and that last insanity being popped up, but I think that Matilda will be able to take that Kufra down. Oh my god. And Alice is also trying to dish out some damage, but I think she is too far ahead, and that carry will give absolute damage, but she is able to fool that carry and then successfully retreats from her first kill.
She was able to survive. Oh, why is she still there? Oh, I think she... Do you think Alice will be taken out? No, she has her first kill, so she just retreats. I think that was a little bit of an odd position coming in, but still, anyway, she survives and goes back to her base. Yuzong will win against the Hylos in the EXP lane, so Julian has been so far prioritizing taking down that, the Yuzong non-stop, and it is giving the advantage to the Hylos, who has almost taken down that bot turret, as we see Engage coming in on that top lane. But I think they will just decide to retreat, as the turtle will spawn in just 5 seconds. I think Xbox wants to compete for this turtle this time, as there is a lane cut happening on the bot lane as well.
Well, yes, and I do think that Julian will be trying to take that Yuzong down again, but he just needs to retreat. But I think he has just used up his ultimate, and the allies and Matilda has also come for a backup. But at the same time, that Xbox trying to deal out some true damage, and the charge coming from that Cooper, and that beautiful ultimate and skills coming from that Yuzong. But I think he should have just retreated, because I think the jungler and the EXP laner will be taken down from the side of special grade. Oh my god, at this point where the turtle was just about to spawn, losing that X-Borg was not a great choice right there, Ray.
Definitely, I think Xbox charged in a little bit too deep and he was taken down, as the turtle has already spawned in, and I think it will be an uncontested turtle for the side of Lafukabi again, and it will give them the gold and EXP advantage. You know, losing out the first two turtles is kind of okay because they do not give out that much gold, but as you can see, 150 gold to all of the members of Lafukabi, as they will be charging in on that mid lane, taking the outer turret as well as the top turret, and they are leading on the kills objective as well as the turrets, and special grade being forced into a corner again. And let's see what type of, you know, gank they will be proceeding to do, as they are pushed into the corner by this Kufra as well as the Hylos this time, because they do not have sufficient enough damage to take them down at this point.
Well, absolutely. Just look at that gold lead, and I see that Cupra charging in with that Tyrant's Rage, and I think that Alice will again be taken down. Oh my god. Like, Eternal Guard has also been popped up, chasing and destroying that armor from that export, because she has also made that anti-heal. I think it was the first equipment right there. But just look at that Yuzong in the top lane. He is trying to split push, but I do see that Kufra is trying to go ahead and save. But Yuzong, he knows that he needs to play safe, because they are losing out. They have like behind around 5 to 6k gold at this point.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, you know, despite the carry working out so well for the side of special grade, they did not prioritize her, and they did not even prioritize the Vexana, and they are getting punished so badly for it. That Alice disappeared in a split second from that Eternal Guard and Tyrant's Rage combo coming in from the side of Team Lafukabi, and they are being punished for, you know, giving out two of these formidable heroes onto the side of Lafukabi, as the resources would also be taken down. Xbox being pushed into a corner as his red buff. Oh, a secure coming in from that Novaria, but his Firaga armor has also been popped off as well. Xbox in a very bad position, and he will be taken down.
Well, you know, we do see that, you know, Special Grade has realized that there's no point in all those team fights, because like, just look at that Yuzong. He is split pushing. Like, ganking is going on in the bot lane. He is in the top lane. There is gank going on in the top lane. He is in the middle main lane trying to push the first turret. At the same time, I did see that Alice trying to push the bot lane. So yeah, but we do see that Hylos trying to cut the lane, and the Lord will be successfully taken by Lafukabi.
Yeah, and I think Team Special Grade are really behind. I mean, look at that. Alice is level 9 compared to Mina, who is level 11 right now. They do not have sufficient enough damage to melt down this Hylos, who will just use his Revitalize and that Glorious Pathway. I mean, look at him. He's still sustaining after taking majority of the blows, but he will be taken down finally. Oh, is this a throw coming in from the side of Lafukabi, as majority of the members have been taken down from their side, as the Vexana, the Zozo, and Aggressive are the only ones standing, as the Lord, the first Lord, is marching down, and it will be a easy defend for their side. Oh no, Yuzong in a very bad position, and he was taken down. Julian trying to make a good of a trade after 3 members have been taken down as well. I mean, Lafukabi really needs to watch out these engages after the Lord, because sometimes, not just sometimes, I think they lose out most of their fights, because the thing is that they waste a lot of resources, and they could have just saved it for the pushes. But I think Lafukabi will try to avoid that mistake, as the Luminous Lord will be coming in on 12 minutes.
Well, absolutely, Ray. I have casted so many matches for Lafukabi, and I think it's a pattern for them to take down the Lord, and then, you know, just
Oh, and we see an engage on that top lane happening as Yu Zhong was just melted right away. That Eternal Guard being popped up. Oh, sorry, it was actually the Kufra's knock-up, not the Eternal Guard. And they will just be successfully taking down that top inhibitor turret as well as Special Gate is being forced right into a corner. They are not able to go into the front anymore, despite Lafukabi doing a little bit of a blunder after that Lord. They still have the momentum, they have the damage with that carry as well as that Vexana's Eternal Lord. And they will just be marching down without any issues. And Team Special Grade is really being punished for giving out that Vexana as well as that carry. Oh, we see another Petrified combo coming in from that Yuzong, but he was not able to succeed in taking down that Zozo.
Well, absolutely. I see things are not going well for, the red team at this point because like they are losing out so much. They have only two inhibitors standing, and as the third lord pops in, I think unless Lafukabi decides to throw away just like they do in most of the matches, I think it will be a secure victory for Lafukabi because I do see, that X-Borg, he's not able to take down that carry, he's not able to take down that Vexana, which should be the priority targets for him. But he is just, using his ultimate to clear off the lanes at this point. But that glorious pathway and revitalize coming from that high loss is literally, tanking up all the damage he is dealing.
Yes, definitely. Like Xbox at this point is not able to melt down that Hylos anymore, and even the Tyrant's Rage coming in from the Kufa. And look at the damage from the carry. Matilda's shield does not matter. She will be melted in just a second, as she was punished for that positioning. Not to mention, Julian was also able to take down Sansir on that Alice, and this will be an easy Luminous Lord to their side as two of the members. Oh, a beautiful Tyrant's Revenge coming in from K on that Kufa as Yuzong is supposed to retreat, but Hylos was a little bit too deep in and he was punished as well. But despite losing a member from the side of Lafukabi, I think Lafukabi is in a really good position to take this victory as the Lord is still marching in. They still have most of their resources. The Eternal Guard for Vexana and Kufra will probably have his ultimate soon as well. Oh, Xbox trying to make a play right now and cuts down the Julian as well as the carry. Oh my god, I think this is another for the side of Lafukabi, who were not able to prioritize that Lord, and the Luminous Lord will completely go to waste as Special Grade defends it without any issues.
Well, this is what I was talking about, Ray. I think Lafukabi never waits up for the Lord. It's like now we have taken down the Lord, now let's just kill them all. But they do not realize that it's near the base of the enemy. They can just heal up and come back. They can respawn faster. And that's what I was wondering, Just like I said before, that X-Borg damage was being tanked by that glorious pathway along with the revitalize coming from that Hylos. But Hylos had been taken down, and that's what, X-Borg used that opportunity to take down the two most annoying enemies that made. So yeah, it was an absolute throw.
Yes, yes, definitely. Like without the Hylos, Xbox has the advantage to dive in without any issues. He is immune to the Kufra's Tyrant's Revenge as well as the Tyrant's Rage. So he was able to take down that Julian, and that kill was secured by the Alice, who is also probably getting most of her items at this point. And if Lafukabi, repeats these fatal mistakes, I think Special Grade is looking in a little bit of a comeback. They are in a little bit of an odd position, and I think they will be using their skills quite early on. I think they should have waited for Xbox to charge in on that bush, but at the same time, he does have his immortality. So Lafukabi decided, like, nah, we're not gonna, waste our resources onto this Xbox, which might be another throw for their side. They're trying to not repeat the mistakes because the game has been prolonged up to 15 minutes at this point.
Well, absolutely. And just look at the scoreboard. The core lead isn't, much because it's almost the same. But yeah, Lafukabi does have that lead of 5 kills. And I think both of the teams at this point need to just clear the lanes. And yes, they are waiting up for that second Lord. So Ray, do you what do you think? Will that export be able to secure this lord? Or if they are not able to do it, will they be able to defend their base?
I think Matilda just needs to watch her positioning because she has been taken down multiple times as well by that carry. If Matilda is able to prioritize Zozo or Brandon, then I think Special Grade has a really solid chance of taking down the DPS and then securing the Lord. But Carry's damage is just so fast. She melted the Lord so, fast that Special Grade did not have the chance to respond. Look at the damage coming in from that carry. And I think Ellsberg is trying to look for a play, but that glorious pathway will be able to give them the movement speed to dodge that damage coming in from that last insanity. And I think this might be game over for the side of Team Lafukabi. Alice is trying to do a backdoor, but I think the Lord spawning in as well as the Julian recalling will not succeed. And I think this will be the victory for the side of Team Lafukabi as they secure game number 3, 2 points onto their side. Despite a few blunders from their
Victory!
team, they were able to execute and show their dominance in these team fights. And at the end, they won against the Xborg, who was taken down immediately. And they secured the Nexus, they secured the base, and they secured this victory as they came back from the score of 1-1 and secured their place on to the next round. What a great synergy coming in. Special Grade really did their well. They were in a very good position, but at sometimes they were just not able to do so because they gave out really two strong heroes to the side of Lafukabi. And I think Vexana and Carry was just way too much. What's your analysis on this, Asuya?
Well, I think you've said everything I would like to say because yeah, and I did want to say that Yuzong engaged towards the end was
Mhm.
pretty bad. It was miscalculated because they did take the Lord and they know, like, Special Grade knows that Lafukabi has a tendency to take down the Lord and then just gank up together. So yeah, he just everyone just went back, but he just went ahead with his ultimate, and as a result, he was taken down by that carry. And that's how one by one each of the members they just went in without any synergy and were taken down, and that's what led to their downfall. So yeah, I congratulate both the teams for being in the tournament. At the same time, I congratulate Lafukabi for the brilliant gameplay, the brilliant synergy, and hope to see them doing the same well in the next match. And we
Yes,
will be signing off.
absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everyone. We'll be signing off. That will be all for tonight. Bye bye.